I want you to think about a specific moment. You have probably had this one. It's Sunday night, you are lying in bed, replaying your week in your head, you work late every single day, you skipped the gym twice, you cancelled plans with a friend that you haven't seen in 3 months, and you told yourself that it was worth it because you were being responsible, you were being dedicated. Then Monday morning comes and you watch someone else, someone who doesn't seem to work nearly as hard as you, walk into a meeting and get handed the exact opportunity that you have been quietly killing yourself for. And you feel something that's hard to name. It's not quite jealousy, it's not quite anger, it's more like confusion. Because you did everything right, you worked harder, you stayed longer, and somehow that still was not enough. If you have ever had that feeling, this video is going to be for you. Because here is the truth nobody is brave enough to say at work. Hard work on its own is not a strategy. It is a story that we tell ourselves to avoid doing the scarier, deeper work of actually transforming. Today, I'm going to show you the research-backed reason why your effort keeps hitting a ceiling and the three-part framework that will permanently break through it. Now, let's start with the root cause. It's called the labor illusion, and it comes from research out of the Harvard Business School. The study found that people, including ourselves, assign more value to work when they can see the effort behind it. We feel productive when we are exhausted. We feel responsible when we are the last person to leave the building. We confuse busyness with output. But here is the uncomfortable question. What if exhaustion is just a feeling and not proof of progress? In today's economy, value is not created by volume. It's created by leverage. Let me make this more concrete for you. You have heard the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule. The data shows that roughly 80% of your meaningful results come from only 20% of your actions. That means that most of what you are working too hard on is contributing almost nothing to the life that you actually want. I call this occupational inertia. You are moving fast, you are putting in the real effort, but you are on a treadmill. The scenery never changes. And this is not a character flaw, you should know that. This is a system design problem. Nobody ever sat you down and said, not all effort is created equal. Some effort is strategic, and some effort is just noise that feels important to us. The difference between the person who gets stuck and the person who accelerates is not how hard they work. It's what they choose to work on. So if hard work alone is not the answer, what is it? The answer is direction. Specifically, it's the distance between where you are putting your energy and where your actual vision lives in. I call this the vision execution gap. Most people are executing tasks that have zero connection to their 5-year vision. Not because they are lazy, let me be clear, because nobody ever asked them to stop and draw the line between today's to-do list and the life that they are trying to build. And here is the framework that I use, the architecture method, which is consisted of 3 steps. Step 1 is the audit of essentiality. It speaks for itself. Open your calendar right now, not your to-do list, your calendar. Look at every recurring commitment that you have this week. For each one, ask this one simple question. If I could not link this directly to my 5-year vision, would I still do it? Dr. Anders Ericsson's research on deliberate practice is crystal clear. It is not the hours that you put in that create the mastery. It is the specific focus of those hours. An average musician can practice 10,000 hours and still plateau. An elite musician practices the right thing with total intention for a fraction of that time and reaches a completely different level. The hours are not the differentiator. The intentionality is. Step 2 now, strategic saying no. This one is going to cost you. In most workplaces and social environments, saying yes makes you look collaborative. Saying no makes you look difficult. But research on top performing CEOs shows that the single differentiator factor, the thing that separated the most effective leaders from the merely busy ones, was their refusal rate. How often they said no to low value requests, not just saying no for the sake of doing so. Every time that you say yes to something that does not serve your vision, you are unconsciously saying no to your own transformation. The cost is usually invisible until one day you wake up and realize that 5 years have passed and nothing has changed. Step 3, energy management. Stop managing your time. Start managing your energy instead. Research from The Power of Full Engagement by Jim Locher and Tony Schwartz shows that cognitive output drops by up to 50% when we are running on depleted energy. Most people, what do? They do their highest value work in the slots that are left over. For example, after the meetings, after the emails, after the short calls. High-performing people flip this. They identify the 2 to 3 hours in their day when the mental clarity is at its absolute peak. And they protect those hours like they are worth $10,000 each. Because for the vision that they are trying to build, remember, they genuinely are worth that much and even more. Now, I want to say something that very few people will say to your face. Hard work, relentless, unsustainable, identity-based hard work is often not about dedication. It is about avoidance. It is much easier to fill a calendar and call it discipline than it is to sit in silence and ask yourself, is the life I'm building actually the one that I want? Because that question is terrifying for you, for me, for anyone. Because sometimes the answer is no. And if the answer is no, then all that hard work has not just been inefficient, it has been in the wrong direction entirely. I have sat with many executives running multi-million and billion-dollar companies who are behind closed doors when nobody's watching, completely and utterly lost. Not because they didn't do the hard work. Obviously, to be a CEO, they are working hard. They work incredibly hard, but they work hard inside the vision that they adopted from someone else, be that their parents, be that the industry or LinkedIn, anything. You are not stuck because you aren't doing enough. You are stuck because you are afraid that if you stop running, even for a single moment, you'll have to admit that you are heading in the wrong direction. And that admission, it takes more courage than any late night in the office ever will take. So let me bring this together for you. The formula that we were taught, hard work equals results, it is not wrong, but it is incomplete. The full formula is the following: strategic direction plus deliberate focus plus recovered energy, and then multiplied by hard work, in that specific order, that's when it works. Without the first 3, hard work is just noise with good intention, because no one works hard for the bad intention. Here is your assignment now for this week. One thing only. Find the one high effort, low result task that has been living on your calendar, the thing that makes you feel busy but never moves the needle, and simply stop doing it. Do not replace it. Do not delegate it. Just stop doing it and notice what happens to your clarity. That space, that slightly uncomfortable, slightly unfamiliar space that opens up when you stop performing the busyness, that is where your actual vision lives in. That is where the real work begins for you. If you are ready to stop just working hard and start building a vision that actually is going to excite you, I invite you to hit subscribe to this channel, because every week on this channel we are going to deconstruct the architecture of success. No fluff, no motivational speeches, just strategy, research, and real conversations that are going to change lives. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you, and I hope to see you in the next one.